Hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly DVMUG meeting. Sorry for the brief interruptions that just happened. Today's Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Today, I have a couple of new news items, followed by some couple of sort of um, not too long videos, and then I went out and got something that's like minute and a half, 2 minutes, and 5 minutes and 6 minutes one. So we're gonna have videos after that. Um, and um, we'll see what's gonna happen. So the next thing is please update. There was an update late couple of days ago, and thank you, John, for informing me to put this in here. And so just to make sure make sure you update everything. So let's go out and let's show you the news. So this is from Apple Insider. And John, can you please elaborate?
It's a basic story. What they do now, security updates for every single thing and older systems. Everything has a security update. I think there was some, I don't think there was any features in here. Now this happened like Wednesday, maybe of last week or something, like after the meeting. So it's been out for a week.
Right, and I decided to put it way up there, the first one of these, because just tell you the truth, I had to deal with an iPad that wasn't updated for the longest period of time here at home. So please make sure you update because things just stop working. Okay, next we have anybody out there again, please update. This is just to make sure you're updating because things are just stop working. They're not going to work anymore. And this is from an Apple Insider. This is about, it took a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Cook went out to China and he praised uh, their AI system. That doesn't mean that he agreed to anything, but he went out there and he actually said it's a good job. So take it with a grain of salt. Anybody have any preferences or comments regarding that? Okay, well, let's move on. This is from 9 to 5 Mac, and I found this again a couple of weeks ago where they dug into Apple's management, and has to do with Siri falling behind, and there was a order from the CEO that was canceled by a CFO or halved by CFO. And basically, that's why we're behind as far as Siri's concerned. They didn't get enough those GPU units from NVIDIA, and that's why they're saying they're having a hard time catching up. So again, there is a good read about this on this link. If you go and click on the link, you get a real uh, story about who did what and when. So next thing is there we were talking about before everybody came out here about the new cheaper phones. Believe it or not, they're saying they're pretty good. Their only difference is the cameras are not up to par compared to the pros, but in some cases, the batteries are even better. Again, the URL It has a long, I mean, way longer explanation for what's missing and what's has been replaced and how good they are. So if anybody has time, this is again on the chat and copy it over and take a look at it. Um, it's tell you the truth, the reason I'm talking is because I'm also thinking of going for the 16A. I'm not a photo person. I'm not out there making professional stuff that the pros have cameras for. So this cheaper phone will do just fine as far as I'm concerned. Just my opinion. Not pushing anything on anybody, but that's my thing to think about nowadays. I I'm putting it out there, but if there are anybody out there that is thinking about it, go click on that URL. You'll get more information. And that was it for the news. So the first couple of videos, one is it's Alan is it's it's going to explain how to troubleshoot and optimize your Face ID. And I didn't do anything to the video. She is methodical. She's slower. She's not speaking fast. She's explaining stuff. So, um, I myself, I don't need it, but if anybody out there is interested, please listen to this.
Apple introduced Face ID in 2017 as a new feature using facial recognition for the new iPhone X. Apple has expanded Face ID to all new iPhones and the iPad Pro. Not only can Face ID unlock your iPhone, you can use it to sign into apps and websites. Continue on with this video for 10 steps to set up, customize, and troubleshoot Face ID. Let's get started. When setting up an iPhone or iPad Pro for the first time, you will be prompted to activate Face ID. If you've already completed this task but are having issues, you can always troubleshoot it by going to Settings, Face ID and Passcode. Enter your passcode for your device. Scroll down and you'll see an option here for Reset Face ID. So if you're having issues with Face ID, here's where you want to go to fix it. So I'm going to tap on Reset Face ID. And then I'm going to scroll up a little bit and you'll see the option now says Set Up Face ID. I'm going to go ahead and tap on that. I'm going to enter my passcode. And now it gives you a little bit of information about how this works. I'm going to go ahead and tap on Get Started. Make sure that you position your face in the square in the right way, and the camera should let you know whether or not you're positioned correctly. So I'm going to tap on Get Started, and I'm going to position my face, and it'll say if I'm not positioned correctly, and it's telling me move a little bit lower. So I will try to do this. I have my phone on there we go. So now you see my face is positioned and it's telling me to move my head in a slow circle. And now that scan has been completed. And if you want to, you can go ahead and set up Face ID with a mask. And you won't need to wear a mask to do this. It automatically calculates for that. I'm going to just say set up later. And once I do, the Face ID has now been set up. I believe on the iPad, you need to go through 2 scans to set up Face ID on the iPad Pro. I'm going to go ahead and tap on done, and you'll see that I have the option now to reset Face ID. So if you're having some trouble with Face ID, here's where you want to come in and reset it and try it again. Your next step is determining when and how you want to use Face ID. So as you can see, we're still in the Face ID settings area, and right below where it says use Face ID for, you'll see a list of features and services that support Face ID. You can toggle on or off which services you would like to use. The Unlock iPhone feature lets you unlock your device using Face ID. The iTunes and App Store lets you use Face ID to authenticate purchases. Wallet and Apple allows you to use Face ID to authenticate purchases online or at a physical store that accepts Apple Pay. Password autofill allows you to authenticate any app or website login that normally requires a password. Other apps gives you a list of all of the apps that you have downloaded that allow for Face ID, and you have the option to toggle them on or off. Unlocking your iPhone with Face ID is simple. Just look at the screen, swipe up from the bottom, and your iPhone is unlocked. You can add more than one facial scan to Face ID. Maybe you want to add the face of another family member, such as your wife, or a scan of your face while wearing your glasses. To do this, you'll just go to Settings, Face ID, and Passcode. And as you can see, I'm already inside the settings. And all you have to do then is tap Set Up an Alternate Appearance, tap on Get Started, and you'll go through the same process as you did to set up Face ID. For greater security, you may want to enable the option to require attention. This ensures you are looking directly at the camera before you're authenticated. So as you can see, I have that toggle switch turned on, and below that, you could also require the attention aware features so that your device will check for your attention before dimming the display, expanding a notification when locked, or lowering the volume of your alerts. Maybe you want to temporarily disable Face ID. All you need to do is hold down the side button and either the volume up or volume down button. Your iPhone screen will show the power off option, medical ID information, or call emergency services. Just tap cancel. You'll be immediately brought back to the lock screen, but if I go to swipe up to access it using Face ID, you'll notice that it forces me then to enter my passcode before Face ID will be enabled. What happens if your iPhone is lost or stolen? Face ID will automatically disable after 5 unsuccessful attempts to unlock it, but you can disable it by opening the Find My app from another device, such as your iPad, or by going through iCloud.com. Make sure that once you open the Find My app, make sure you have devices highlighted, and then you'll go ahead and tap on the device that's missing. So I'll just tap on my iPhone. I'll slide the screen up, and then you would tap on Mark as Lost, and then continue to follow the directions. And now you will enable Lost Mode, which will deactivate Face ID. If Face ID isn't working, here are a couple of troubleshooting tips you can try. First, make sure nothing is covering the camera and that your iOS is up to date. If that doesn't work, come back into the Face ID settings area and select Reset Face ID and follow the process. Face ID offers a convenient and secure.
I am so sorry.
Apple introduced Face ID in 2017 as
Ah, my fault.
Apple introduced Face ID in 2017. Face ID settings area and select Reset Face ID and follow the process. Face ID offers a convenient and secure way to unlock your iPhone or iPad, making it a valuable tool for senior citizens. With just a glance, you can access your device, sign into apps, and make purchases without needing to remember complex passwords. Setting up Face ID is straightforward, and you can even customize it to work with glasses, masks, or multiple faces. If you're ever concerned about security, there are easy ways to temporarily disable Face ID or protect your device if lost. Overall, Face ID simplifies daily tasks, providing both ease of use and peace of mind. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
I apologize. I accidentally touched the wrong button and went forward. Any questions or comments? If not,
I have one.
yes, Mike.
Well, I'm curious. I don't have an issue because I shave my head, but I'm curious with the women out there who change hair color and style on a semi-regular basis. Do you have to re-input your Face ID on there or not? I mean, suppose you go, you got gray hair and you decide to go blonde or brunette or something.
I
No,
really am.
because it's looking at the geometry of your face.
Not your hair?
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
so much of your hair. You could have a hat on, maybe, or off, or
Probably to a degree. The hat would might make it depends on if it's a big brim or not. But yeah, I was just curious.
it's mostly looking at things like your eye placement, your nose shape, your mouth. It's like you're looking at certain points.
I,
So
I I can appreciate all of our suggestions and everything. Can I hear from some of the ladies out there? Do you have an issue with it?
I use it. Jennifer uses it all the time.
Do you change your hair color or style?
I haven't changed it since I was 20 and I'm 90.
Well, okay then.
Oh,
I
gee.
guess it went from black to gray.
Well, yeah, but how long have you had a phone? You didn't get a
No,
phone
no. I mean, as long as they've had Face ID, I've used Face ID and it's fantastic.
okay.
It opens up everything. I don't even think about it. It's perfect.
Okay, just curious.
I, I'm not clear on the part with the mask. Do you have to do something special to make it recognize you with a
I don't
mask?
I don't
Uh,
use the
I don't
mask,
think
but
so.
the eyeglasses, when my eyeglasses are off, it will not accept me.
Oh,
So you have to have an
so
alternate plan set
set
up
up
with glasses.
an alternate ID with your glasses on
That's
and
that's
one
right.
off.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Then it'll recognize both ways.
So
Right.
if you wear contacts, you got to have two faces in there.
And
Really?
whatever you have to do, it's worth it.
Yeah, it sure is a lot easier than any other way they've had so far.
Well, I like to
Recognizes
add to it.
with or without glasses. I don't have a special setup.
Huh.
I'm sorry, Jane, what did you say?
Mine recognizes me with or without my glasses. I didn't do a special setup.
Okay, when you did your first one, was it with glasses or without?
Probably with.
I think
Okay.
you've got rimless glasses, though. I don't know if it's that, maybe part of it.
Mike?
I've never had a problem with glasses on or off, and even with a mask on.
Hmm.
As long as it's one of those hospital masks, I don't think there is a problem. If it's a Halloween mask, probably so.
Oh,
Well, I like to add to that, um, because I do have I did have a problem with the with with the mask. Um, I I would go to Safeway and I would try to pay, and it would just sit there asking me for a code. It wouldn't do anything. So I did have to go and do one with the mask, and ever since I did the one with the mask, everything's fine.
Hmm.
So I was gonna my only comment was that she mentioned that over there, and I wanted everybody to hear that it did made a difference
But
for
you're
me.
using an older phone, right? Aren't you using an iPhone 11?
I am.
That was the iPhone 11 did not include the adaptation for masks.
Well, I did one with the mask on. I
Okay.
mean, before what Mark was talking about, did you do one with or without? I remember doing it without, and then it was giving me problems, so I did it with. I didn't have the extra feature. In other words, there is no two things to do, but I did it with the mask, and I don't seem to have a problem now. So
Hmm.
But on iPhone 11, the mask switch isn't there
Yeah.
because it needs later.
Yeah. It came out long before COVID did, I think.
you know,
So do you think that when you travel, you should take your facial recognition off? So if you lose your phone, then
No.
No,
you have to put the code in?
they're not gonna break in with your Face ID if you lose your phone.
Yeah.
What is a bit much bigger threat is if you are entering your passcode,
Passcode every time, right?
every time somebody could look over your shoulder and then take your phone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
you
took
know.
a photo, a selfie, and printed it out on high quality matte color photo paper and tried to use that as facial ID on my iPad and my iPhone, and it would not work. It
No,
uses three-dimensional
Well,
examination.
plus
So,
you had that attention thing turned on, right?
pardon
So
me?
she was talking about having that attention thing turned on. So your
Right.
phone is also waiting for you to blink. So if your picture doesn't blink,
Oh, that may be. Yeah.
then it doesn't recognize it as a
Yeah.
face.
No, that's actually it's the attention thing is that you're looking at the phone so that somebody can't like take your phone and off on the side, try to unlock your phone
Yeah,
without you noticing because
I
you're
just
not
thought there
looking
was
at
some
it.
setting in there so if you were drunk or whatever, somebody couldn't take your phone and just hold it in front of your face and open it. Um, gosh forbid if you were
you're
unconscious. Somebody would,
asleep
Like if
or
you
unconscious or something, knock you on the head and then hold your phone up in
well,
front of you.
I gave them the benefit of the doubt and they got you drunk, but yeah,
so maybe your eyes have to be open for that.
yeah, or something.
Yeah, I didn't understand why you would have to look at the camera. I mean, a camera's like right in front of you, so you basically are looking at it. So, but it probably has something to do with it. Okay, well, anybody else? Let's move on then. Here's another one by her, and this has to do with Siri and when you should be able to type to it and where and such.
In this video, I'll teach you how to type to Siri instead of speaking, allowing you to communicate with Siri without voicing your commands out loud. This can be done on the iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, and Apple TV. But in today's video, I'm only going to show you the iPhone and the Apple Watch. If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Let's discuss some reasons why you wouldn't want to talk to Siri and would prefer to type your questions instead. Maybe you're in a location where speaking isn't allowed or acceptable, like your library, a movie, or your church. Maybe you're a non-native speaker, or you don't want people to hear what you say to Siri. Or even if you have a disability where you're unable to talk to Siri. Let's take a look at the Type to Siri feature on the iPhone. If you've already set up Apple Intelligence and the new Siri, you can double tap on the home bar at the bottom of your iPhone or iPad screen to type to Siri. So I'm on the home page, and you can see at the bottom you don't see a home bar. But if I open the phone app, you'll see this bar along the bottom, and that's the home bar. If I double tap on the home bar, Type to Siri should pop up. Let me come back out of there. And also, if I'm on the home screen of my phone, even though you don't see that bar there, if I double tap there, you'll see Type to Siri appear. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. And so, first things first, you'll want to note that this type only works on the iPhone 15 Pro or newer models of the iPhone, or an iPad, any iPad with an M1 chip running iOS 18 or iPadOS 18. And so if you have one of these devices and the double tap isn't working, what you want to do is go into the Settings app, scroll down and tap on Apple Intelligence and Siri, then tap on Talk and Type to Siri, and then make sure the Type to Siri toggle switch is turned on. Now, if you have an older model device, let's go ahead and take a look at how you can set up this option for an older iPhone. On an older model iPhone, you'll still have the option to set up a dedicated Type to Siri in the accessibility feature. Once you activate this accessibility feature, you'll use the side button to activate Type to Siri instead of Talk to Siri. So let me show you what you have to do to set this up. The first thing you'll want to do is come into the Settings app. You'll scroll down and tap on Siri. Tap on Talk to Siri, and make sure that you have this option that says press side button for Siri toggled on. Once you do that, tap the back button in the upper left-hand corner, tap it again to come back to Settings, and now we're going to locate Accessibility. Tap on Accessibility, scroll down to the bottom, tap on Siri, and then you're going to turn on Type to Siri at the very top. Toggle that switch on. And then once you do that, I can push and hold on the side button, or what's the power button on the side of the phone. Push and hold on it, and you'll see the option for Type to Siri pop up. You also have the option to set up Type to Siri on the Apple Watch. And what you want to do is you'll want to open up the Watch app on your iPhone. Then you'll want to come down to Siri and just make sure that Press Digital Crown is turned on. Tap the back button. Now tap on Accessibility. Scroll down to the bottom, and you'll find Siri. Go ahead and tap on Siri, and then make sure that the toggle switch for Type to Siri is turned on. And then when I go to my Apple Watch, I'll show you that. When I go to my Apple Watch, if I push and hold on the digital crown, I should get the option for type to Siri. I can tap on it and then I can begin to type my request to Siri rather than speak it. The only problem is that on the Apple Watch, it's such a small keyboard that it's sometimes very difficult to do it on your watch. It's much easier to do on your iPhone. You might be wondering if you can type and speak to Siri at the same time. Once you enable Type to Siri in accessibility, pressing the buttons will only show the keyboard, taking away your option to use the button and then speak your request. But if you just say the phrase, "Hey Apple Lady," you can speak your request without typing it. And now you have the best of both worlds, having the option to speak or type as you please. So just be sure that in the settings under Apple Intelligence in Siri or on older phones, Siri, tap on Apple Intelligence and Siri, tap on Talk and Type to Siri, and just make sure that you have one of these options turned on. And so if you have this turned on and Type to Siri turned on, that enables you to speak or use the buttons to type to Siri. You might find Siri's voice feedback annoying, and there is a way to turn voice feedback off. All you need to do is open the Settings app, locate and tap on Accessibility, scroll towards the bottom until you see Siri, tap on Siri, and then under Spoken Responses, choose Prefer Silent Responses, and then you will no longer get the voice feedback from Siri. Finally, if you decide this isn't for you and you want to return to the default settings so that you just use voice feedback on Siri, what you'll do is open the Settings app, tap on Apple Intelligence and Siri, or Siri in older phones, tap on Talk and Type to Siri, and then you'll toggle off the option that says Type to Siri, and then you'll be back to the default settings. With the Type to Siri feature, you now have a discreet and flexible way to interact with Siri on your Apple devices, whether you're in a quiet setting, prefer typing over speaking, or have accessibility needs. This feature offers a practical solution. Remember, technology should adapt to your lifestyle, not the other way around. If this feature isn't a good fit for you, you can always switch it off and return to Siri's default settings. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
It's funny, when this feature came out, it always said, it wasn't, I don't know when it came in, but it was always in accessibility, but it was way harder to turn it on. And then all of a sudden, this is a new feature, but they just made it a switch in the settings so you could flip it on and off. It was always in accessibility for a long time.
Anybody else? Comments or questions?
Yes, I was glad to see that I can turn Siri speaking back off. It's been rather annoying to me.
No. Okay.
Is
So
it
the
annoying
next,
because of the voice it uses, or just the fact that you just get tired of listening to it?
When I ask a question, I want to read it on the screen, not have it talked out loud to me.
Yeah, and sometimes that's inconvenient. We found people in the classroom didn't mind it once they got to change the Siri's voice from the slightly Australian lady to a guy or something.
I like the male Indian voice.
Yeah. The Irish one didn't really seem Irish to me, but I just keep the other one.
Well, the Irish one's pleasant.
Yeah.
I used to find it incredibly annoying that I'd be driving, I'd ask Siri a question, and it would say, "This is what I found," and
Yeah.
you're supposed to read your phone.
Yeah. I'm driving, Siri. Can't you tell that?
Well, if there are no more comments, next video is how to add an email account to your iPhone. I recently had to deal with someone who had to have his email removed, Apple Mail, and reinstalled because of problems. And I found this, so just in case somebody knows or has reason to take it out and delete it and reinstall it, here's instructions.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. The description is for some other thing, for signing PDFs. How to mark up PDFs, sign PDFs.
Oh, you're right.
There's different description. Hopefully the video is the right one. Okay, go ahead.
Well, let's see.
Here's how to add an email account to the Mail app on your iPhone. In Settings, scroll down and tap Apps. Then scroll down and select Mail. Tap Mail Accounts, then tap Add Account. Now, select the account type you'd like to add. Depending on your selection, these steps might be slightly different. We're going to add a Gmail account, so we'll start by tapping Google. Enter your email address and tap Done. Tap Next and follow the prompts. You might need to complete additional steps, like two-step verification. Once you've signed in, select the apps you'd like to sync to your Google account and tap Save to finish adding your account. And that's it. Now you can access your email in the Mail app on your iPhone. Some sequences in this video were shortened.
When you add a Google Gmail account, when you continue, it will open Safari and ask you to enter your account information. And it pretty much always tells you to go and open a Google app, YouTube or some Google app, and it'll say, are you trying to sign in? You say yes, and that's the two-step. There's not a code. Or alternately, you can say, I did try another way, and then they will text you to your cell. If you have that in your settings in your Google account, you should have a two-factor cell phone number turned on and an alternate email so they can authenticate you.
Anyone else enlightening or having issues? If not, we have how to use AirPlay to stream video or mirror the screen on your iPhone or iPad. Here we go.
With AirPlay, you can share your favorite TV show, a presentation for work, those family vacation photos, and more to another screen, right from your iPhone or iPad. We'll start with an overview about AirPlay. Then we'll teach you how to stream a video and how to mirror your iPhone or iPad screen. First, we'll talk about AirPlay and the difference between streaming and screen mirroring. AirPlay uses Wi-Fi to share content from your device to your Apple TV, Mac, or compatible speakers and smart TVs. You can either stream content directly from your iPhone or iPad, or use screen mirroring to display everything on your screen without using cables or adapters. Streaming with AirPlay means that you can display content like videos, photos, and other media from compatible apps on your device to another screen. You can keep using your iPhone or iPad while content plays on the other display. And you can control it as well, like playing and pausing or fast forwarding and rewinding. But when you use screen mirroring with AirPlay, you can share exactly what is on the screen of your device on another display. Everything that appears on your device will be mirrored on the display in real time, including content in apps, new messages, notifications, and more. Before you start using AirPlay, you'll need a compatible device like your Apple TV, Mac, or AirPlay-compatible smart TV. And make sure your iPhone and AirPlay device are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. To stream a video from your iPhone or iPad, tap the screen or pause button to show the video controls, and tap the AirPlay button. But depending on the app you're using, you might need to tap another button first, like Share. Then, select the device you want to use with AirPlay. We'll choose our Apple TV. If you're streaming to an AirPlay device that isn't signed into your Apple account, a code might appear on the display. Type in the code on your iPhone or iPad and tap OK. Once it's connected, just tap the play button to begin watching. Now you can enjoy your content on the other screen and keep using your device while your video plays. Awesome! Your iPhone or iPad can also stream video automatically to devices you regularly use with AirPlay. To do this, from Settings, tap General, and then tap AirPlay and Continuity. Tap Automatically AirPlay, and you can choose between several options. Never means you'll need to manually tap the AirPlay button and choose a device for AirPlay every time you stream content. Ask means you'll receive notifications with suggested AirPlay devices you can choose to stream your content to. But we'll choose Automatic, which means your device will automatically stream to your frequently used AirPlay device. You'll still get a notification to confirm you want to stream content, but you can dismiss or ignore it and tap the play button without switching to a different device. If you'd like to show your entire iPhone or iPad screen on another display with AirPlay, you can use screen mirroring. Just open Control Center, tap the screen mirroring control, and select the device you want to mirror to. This is also where you stop mirroring. If you're screen mirroring to an AirPlay device that isn't signed into your Apple account, a code might appear on the display. Type in the code on your iPhone or iPad and tap OK. Everything you do on your device will appear on your other screen. Let's check out a photo. When you tap to view a photo or video in the Photos app, it automatically appears in full screen on your other display. But if you're mirroring content from other apps, you can change the screen orientation on your device for the best viewing experience. This is beautiful. And that's how you can share content to another screen with AirPlay. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel, or click another video to keep watching.
Any comments? And I believe this is what Rick and Mike do on Saturdays. They stream their phones into through Apple
Actually, Rick and I just play poker, but that's a whole different.
TV.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you screen mirror into a window instead of taking over your complete Mac screen?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I've never
I was
seen
just
that.
trying it here on my Mac, and
What's the question? Because I do it all the time.
Whether you could say, if I if I mirror my iPhone to my Mac, is there a way to do that where it's within a window as opposed to taking
Yeah.
over the entire
Well,
two screens of my Mac? So I still
I
have
don't know about two screens. It does take over the whole screen, but it appears in a diminished size in relationship to the size of the screen. It appears in its own form. It's exactly what you see on the phone.
Right, you can't.
But
But you're
there's
saying
no
you can't.
background information left on the screen. It just kind of goes gray.
Yeah, it takes over. You
Yeah,
can't
it
put it
takes
in
over
a
the whole
window
thing.
and then continue to do something on that
Yeah.
screen.
Now, if you had two screens, maybe it wouldn't.
No, it does the same thing. The other screen just goes black.
Takes over both screens.
Yeah. It's only on one screen, but both screens become just big black square.
Oh.
Well, maybe
But it's terrific when I'm running my class at the senior center. People will ask a question. I whip out my phone, just hit the control panel, and bingo, there it is on the screen.
Could you use spaces? And
Right.
so you just switch to a different space, and only the space that was active when you turned on screen share should be the only one showing the screen share. If you then move to another space, the screen share shouldn't be in that space, right?
What do you mean spaces?
There is a function in Mac OS called spaces.
Never tried that.
Each
Never
screen
thought
has its
about
own
that.
It's your
space.
desktop. You can move between various
Multiple
desktops.
desktops.
Yes.
Oh, different desktops. Okay.
Right. So if you're mirroring, are you just mirroring in the one desktop, or are you mirroring in all of them?
I have no idea because I don't use that feature.
So I have my two displays set up as separate spaces, and one becomes the screen share, the mirror, and the other is just black. So it takes over the whole thing.
If you use the iPhone mirroring app, it just creates it as a window, and you can move it around from place to place.
Yeah, I would think that'd be right. If you use the mirroring app, if you've got two screens, Kenji, and they're each called something else, it'll give you that option in mirroring, I would think.
Yeah, mirroring goes in a window. You can move around. You can drag files from your Mac desktop into the iPhone window and copy them. So that is a window, but only that's still iPhone mirroring is a separate app on the Mac.
Yes.
You don't go to the phone and say mirror to my Mac. You do it from the Mac and you launch the app and it grabs the phone and puts it in the window. It's different setup.
Oh, so you just do it backwards then?
Yeah, it's backwards. You grab the iPhone from the Mac instead of pushing the iPhone to the Mac and taking over.
Interesting.
Different thing.
That might do it, Kenji.
And the iPad doesn't have, you can't do it from an iPad. You can't iPad mirror only on an iPhone. I don't know why they don't have that app, but why did they not have a calculator on the Mac, on the iPad forever?
Yeah.
It's just like they could, but they don't. Well, they do now. I mean, they didn't for the longest time.
There is also a limitation on the iPhone mirroring that you can't get access to the control center.
That's very limited.
You can get to the settings. You can get to the settings app though, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way to like swipe from the top of the screen to get the control center. It's amazing that it works as well as it does. It's like
you can swipe from the bottom and get the control center though. I'm doing it now.
With iPhone mirroring?
Yeah. Come on. I see it mirroring and then I swipe up from the bottom and I get my normal.
But you're swiping on the phone.
Correct.
No, you can't go to the Mac and bring that up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Is that what you're saying, Gary?
Yeah, it's accessing the phone from the Mac.
Okay.
You get
Sorry.
pretty much everything except the control center.
You can't bring it up on the Mac, but you can go to the phone and bring it up and it shows on the Mac.
No,
Correct.
it doesn't.
Well, Mike just did it.
Yeah, I just did it. I went to mirroring, type MacBook Air. It connects. Now I can swipe
No,
left.
Wait a minute, hold on,
no,
no.
you're not. You're
No, that's
mirroring
not,
your phone.
that's not
You're not
iPhone
using
mirroring.
the iPhone mirroring.
Yeah, he doesn't have a current operating system on his phone, on his computer.
So when you mirror your phone to your Mac, it takes over the Mac. You can't do anything else. In
Correct.
macOS Sequoia, there's an app called iPhone Mirroring you bring up on the Mac, connect to your phone, and put your phone in a window that you can move around and drag files in on your Mac. That's an app on the Mac. So that's not what you're doing.
And it's
Two different
called
things. Two
iPhone
different
mirroring.
things.
Oh, there it is.
Well, Kenji, the reason I said spaces is because remember last week I was talking about my dock moving from one screen to the next. There is an option, and I forget what it is. I guess it's spaces, where you choose each screen to have its own space.
Yes. That's how
And
mine's set up.
it it seems to be staying in one place. So
What do you mean it seems to be staying in one place?
um, the um, the dock before it would some way, shape, or form it would move from one screen to the next. And in order to stop that was I had to go and dedicate it to one space, uncheck that or check that option to dedicate it to each individual space. And it seems to be staying in one place. Hasn't moved yet. But I don't know if that has anything to do with you mirroring and the thing taking over your screen.
No, I think that's just the way it works.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
And the space that's active, so I have menu bars at the top of both displays. Only one of them is active, though. I have to click on the other one in order to bring it up, and then the menu bar,
Moves. Right. Okay.
Is over there, which is fine. It has advantages. The only thing is you can't drag a window to span both spaces.
Both,
They're
that's
separate
correct.
spaces.
Yeah.
Okay.
New topic.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Next one is how to find and download iCloud photos and videos. This is if you want to get it off iCloud and how to do it.
When you use iCloud Photos, you can view your photos and videos on any device and download a copy of them using the Photos app, iCloud.com, and more. We'll teach you how. First, let's learn a little about iCloud Photos. You can view your photos and videos in several places. When you sign in to your Apple account on your Apple devices and have iCloud Photos turned on in Settings, all your iCloud photos and videos show up in the Photos app automatically. If you're using iCloud for Windows, or signed in with your Apple account and have iCloud Photos turned on, you can find your iCloud photos and videos stored locally on your PC. If you prefer to use the web, you can manage and download them from iCloud.com on any device. When you're connected to Wi-Fi or cellular, any changes you make to your content appear across your devices, including new photos and videos you take. When you delete content from your device, it's also removed from iCloud and any of your devices that have iCloud Photos enabled. Depending on the device you're using, you have several options for downloading photos and videos. Now let's learn about a few ways. We'll show you how to download your iCloud photos and videos from your iPhone or iPad and put them on an external storage device, how to download your entire library from the Photos app on Mac, and how to download your photos and videos from iCloud.com.
Excellent.
First, let's learn how to download iCloud photos and videos using your iPhone or iPad and then transfer them to an external storage device. Before you start, make sure your device is up to date. On your iPhone, you'll need iOS 17 or later, and on your iPad, you'll need iPadOS 17 or later. Make sure you have enough storage space on your iPhone or iPad to download your content, even if you're using optimized storage. You'll also need a compatible external storage device. Connect your storage device to your iPhone or iPad. If you're downloading a large amount of content, it's a good idea to connect to Wi-Fi. In the Photos app on your iPhone or iPad, find the photos and videos you'd like to download to your storage device. These photos and videos are the same ones stored in iCloud when you have iCloud Photos enabled. Then tap Select and choose the photos and videos you'd like to download. Tap the Share button. And then tap Export Unmodified Originals. You might need to scroll down first. This will download full-resolution copies of your original photos and videos. If you're using optimized iPhone or iPad storage, you might get an alert showing the progress. The Files app will open to iCloud Drive by default. Tap the back arrow, and under Locations, tap your external storage device. Tap Save, and your content will begin to download to your storage device. When the download is complete, you can disconnect your storage device and you're good to go. You can use the Photos app on Mac to download your entire iCloud Photos library. Before you start, make sure you have enough storage space on your Mac to download your content. It's also a good idea to back up your Mac using Time Machine when you're done in order to save your data, which includes your downloaded full-resolution photos and videos. The Photos app shows all your photos and videos stored in iCloud when iCloud Photos is enabled. With the app open, click Photos in the menu bar in the upper left corner of your screen. Click Settings, and then select iCloud at the top of the window that appears. Now choose how you want to download your photos. You can select Optimize Mac Storage to download a lower resolution version of your photos and videos, which takes up less space on your Mac. But we're going to choose Download Originals to this Mac. This downloads your entire iCloud library with your photos and videos in full resolution. Then, click the Close button on the Settings window. Depending on how much content you're downloading, a message might appear showing the progress. When it's done, you can export your content to an external storage device if you like. Now, let's learn how to download photos and videos from iCloud.com to your Mac, PC, iPhone, or iPad. We're using a Mac. Keep in mind that it's a good idea to back up your device when you're done to save all your data, which includes your downloaded content. Once you're signed in to iCloud.com, click Photos. By default, it will appear near the top of the page, but you might need to scroll down first. Now, select the items you'd like to download. You can download up to 1,000 at a time. You can click the Download button to download them right away, or for additional options, click the More button. You can click the More Download Options button to choose what type of media you want to download, like copies of your original photos and videos, or ones that include edits you've made. We're going to click Download Items. Depending on the amount of photos and videos you're downloading, they might save as a zip file and will be located in your Downloads folder by default. Once they're downloaded, You can export them to an external storage device. And that's how to download a copy of your iCloud photos and videos so you can store them exactly where you want. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel or click another video to keep watching. Some sequences.
So
how we know?
I see there's a problem with that. If the reason you have optimized storage turned on in your Mac is you don't have enough space to store your originals, how are you going to download the originals? So one thing I didn't know that on your iPhone, you can select download and choose an external device plugged into your phone, and that would let you download as much as you wanted to your external. I didn't know that. That's what you got to do.
So last night at the Silicon Valley Mac user group, which I attended, which you are all welcome to attend, it's on Monday evenings once a month. Adam Christensen was the presenter last night, and he's a longtime Mac podcaster. Mac Geek Gab is his current one, and he did what was the name of the other one? That he was anyway. One thing he brought up is that if you're using a backup service like Backblaze, which I do, it's an online backup service, or if you're using Time Machine and you have optimized storage on your turned on your Mac, since you don't have the full resolution pictures on your Mac, those services, including Time Machine, are not going to be backing up your photo library because it can only back up what's actually on your Mac. So that's something I had not thought of.
So if you have the space on your Mac, you should have that optimized turned off, unless you have something like some people have 20, 30,000 photos and they buy a new Mac with a 256 gig and they have lots of, it might not work out for you. When you buy a new machine, especially when you're transferring, for the last 10 years, the default was 1 gig spinning hard drives. Well, then all the new Macs have 256 SSDs, so you might very well have more than 256 data, and you got to prepare for that. And for the people who haven't upgraded to, when you got to pay Apple for the extra space, it's like your phone. If you don't pay now and get it, you can't change it later.
Right. So what you meant is the older Macs have 1 terabyte. Right. And the new Macs have 256 gig.
Right. That's correct.
Okay. My question in all this is, when you're downloading to another device, are you just creating another proprietary Apple library of images, or are you downloading actual files of JPEGs or whatever the format is?
That, what you said. When you download, and notice it said download originals. That means not the modified versions, but the originals that you put in there, and they come down as, JPEGs or HA
as individual files with the individual original names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because working with Apple's library files that are buried in your system, those aren't those items. They aren't the actual JPEGs. They're a mash of everything together in a library file. And I find I lose data out of that.
If you're determined to go in and peck at it, you can control click on, you go in, you're not supposed to do this, because if you make a mistake, you can destroy your library, but you can control click on the photos library in your pictures folder and show contents, and it'll show you regular Finder list, and there's all these dates, and then there should be a folder in there named originals, the unmodified originals, but then there's each folder by date. It's not one thing you can go grab. It's you're not supposed to go in there, but you can.
Okay. It's the individual files with the original data that I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, the originals are always there and the original names and everything. When you make a edit, all it does is save the information about what changed. It does never changes. The originals are always there.
Okay. I guess I'm old fashioned. It sounds like a necessary extra step, but thanks for explaining it.
If you want, what I do is, okay, when you bring your I don't use iPhoto or photos because of that reason. I keep them in the Finder. I name the folders. I name the files. I manage them in Adobe Bridge. So I can go in and peck in the Finder and find whatever I want, move it around. It doesn't hurt anything. But you got to start that way. You can't, once you're in photos and you dump thousands of photos in there, the only way to convert is export all the originals, and then you have just a pile of, you never named your photos, are all named image, blah, blah, blah number. It's like, if you never named them, it's a problem.
Right.
It's good to name your photos when you import them into your phone, if you do it that way from a camera, and name them first, and then bring them into photos. Then they have some kind of name that you can recognize, but that's another deal. But I like the fact that you can go to your phone. I never knew that. And you can say download and point it to an external drive plugged into your phone. If your phone didn't have enough space, you can put them all in the external and not 1,000 at a time. If you have 30,000 and you download 1,000 at a time, you have to do it 30 times. And you got to have the space to put, that's not going to work. I've tried that before. It doesn't work. You can't, it's too
That
tedious.
1,000 limitation was only on iCloud.com.
Exactly. And the phone didn't seem to have that limitation. You just said download. And you have the choice to put them on external. When you do them, iCloud doesn't have that reason. It puts them in your downloads folder in a zip file. I don't know why they don't do the same thing on the Mac as they do on the phone, allow you to put them on an external and get them all. But it's been that way for a long time.
But in the Photos app, you can, with any particular photo, you can export the edited photo or the unedited original.
Right, but if you've optimized storage, I think when you go to export it, the originals are not on your computer, but it downloads them from the cloud and then exports them out. Just like when you open it, it downloads it from the cloud so you can see the full image. To me, you got to keep your originals on your Mac so you can plug in Time Machine and you get a copy of your originals. That just, to me, unless you trust the cloud, something happens, they're all gone.
So, John, what's your workflow to save all your originals wherever else would?
I don't take many photos with my phone, but I put them in photos. I don't keep much stuff in there. My camera, I will take the card out, put it in, copy them to a folder on my computer, use Adobe Bridge, name the folder, something particular, the date or the event or the people or whatever. In Adobe Bridge, you can open it up, select hundreds of photos and say, Tools, Batch Rename. Rename it Easter 2025 and sequence number starting with 1. And like that, it names every file in the folder Easter 2025, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're all named. And then I put them in the Finder. On the Finder, I have a folder called Photos, and there I have birthdays, I have Christmas for 10 years, every year numbered, and every picture in that folder has in a folder with a name, and in that every picture has a name. No images are named 1004.jpg, 1005. That don't work. The Adobe Bridge is free. It's been around for a long time. You have to make an Adobe account, but that's free. It's updated all the time, every year a new version. It's great. Works great. You can look at any folder on your Finder and it'll display like Photos does. Pick, the images, the thumbnails, you can resize them, just like Photos does, but it doesn't, it's on the fly on your Finder. It's looking at the Finder, not a database. So there's no danger of screwing up your photos. You throw away Bridge, you can still go in and poke in the Finder and find your stuff that's organized. This was taught to me by Susan, what's Susan's last name? And Rosner. She used to teach the Photoshop class. Back when there was Aperture, there was Lightroom, and the Photos app. You could have, if you organize them in the Finder, you could point any one of those apps to that folder. In the Photos app, you can click a preference checkbox for do not import the originals. Okay, so you can have all the images in the Finder, you can drag them in, and it just points back to the Finder. So if you throw away the Photos app, you'll lose all your edits and all your album organization, but all your original photos are right there in the Finder. And the point of that was you could use your photos in all 3 apps. No problem, that all the apps could go away and you still have your originals. And when I found that out, I went back to iPhoto in the time, exported all my originals, organized them. It was a pain at the time, but I only had, 1,000 or something. I don't remember how it was a long time ago. So I started over. Well, that works for me. I don't think any professional photographers would want to keep their, workflow in the Photos app. They'd probably use Lightroom. Lightroom doesn't keep your photos in the app. It keeps your photos in the Finder. Don
That's good to know.
Don uses Lightroom. He could speak to that. He doesn't keep his in Photos. Once you get to, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 photos, you don't want to have photos blowing up and your images stuck in there and you don't know where they are. I think I have about 20,000 photos. Takes like,
oh gee.
Oh, it fits in 100 megs. It's not, doesn't take up that much space. They're all JPEGs. Okay, do we have another video?
Yeah, we have one more regarding the Apple Watch and how to deal with issues on the Apple Watch.
Need to reset your Apple Watch? Here's how you can either use your paired iPhone or reset directly from your watch. First, we'll show you how to use your iPhone to erase your Apple Watch. This method also unpairs your watch, creates a backup of it, and removes activation lock. Start with your Apple Watch and iPhone close together. Then, open the Apple Watch app on your iPhone and tap All Watches near the top left of the screen. Next, tap the Info button next to the device you want to unpair and erase. Scroll down and tap Unpair Apple Watch. If you have a GPS plus cellular model, you'll be asked if you want to keep or remove your plan. Tap Unpair again to confirm. If prompted, enter your Apple account password, then tap Unpair to begin the process, which might take a little while to complete. Your iPhone creates a new backup of your watch before erasing it. When erasing a family member's watch that is paired with your iPhone, their watch will back up to iCloud instead. If you don't have your iPhone, you can erase all the content and settings directly from your Apple Watch. This option restores your watch to factory settings, but doesn't create a backup or remove activation lock. On your Apple Watch, open Settings, scroll down, and tap General. Scroll down and tap Reset. Then tap Erase all content and settings. If prompted, enter your passcode. If you have a GPS plus cellular model, you'll be asked if you want to keep or remove your plan. Tap Erase All to confirm and restore your Apple Watch to factory settings. Once this process is complete, you've reset your Apple Watch. Now you can pair it again with your iPhone or with a new iPhone. If pairing your watch with a new device, you'll need the Apple account information associated with the watch to turn off activation lock. And that's how to unpair and reset your Apple Watch to factory settings. To learn more about your Apple Watch,
Bruce is muted. Is that the last one? Comments, questions about the Apple Watch?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll sometimes get a alert or some kind of notification on my Apple Watch, and it hangs in for 5 seconds or, not all that much time, and then it's gone. And I'm not sure how to pull that back up or whether, how to find it on my iPhone or what, Can somebody guide me with that?
So you want to know how to get back to notifications after they're timed out.
Right.
You just I don't know if it's all notifications, but you just swipe down from the top of the watch face.
Yeah, I seemed to try that and I couldn't seem to find the notification in question that I said, what? What was that? Yeah. So I'm not sure. Does it hold on to those things for quite a while, or is there a time limit to how long those wordings will be available?
There are different types of notifications as to how long they remain. If you have those notifications set the wrong way, they'll just disappear.
And I guess I have them set the wrong way then. So I guess I need to go into my watch settings to find how to control that. Okay.
I keep getting ones that says some data isn't syncing. And it's just random.
Peter, do you know what kind of notifications they are that you're talking about?
It doesn't tell me what. It just some data isn't syncing and enter your password. I enter the password and all is well till the next day, week, or month, and then it comes up again.
Yeah, I was asking Peter what the notifications he was thinking of.
I'm actually not sure of what kind of notifications they are. Is there some kind of tutorial that
So aren't the notifications, don't they sync to your Mac or your phone, and you can go look at the notifications there? Should be getting the same kind of notifications.
One should think so.
Most text messages, notifications, or mail, that comes on all your devices. So you should be able to go to the other device, like on the phone or the iPad or the Mac, and pull down the notifications.
Comment.
Right?
On the Apple Watch, if you have notifications that you haven't looked at, there's got a little red dot at the very top of your screen on your Apple Watch. Just pull down on that red dot and you'll get all the notifications right there.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. I was unaware of that.
Did that work, Peter?
Well, it certainly pulls out a string of notifications.
There
So,
you go.
yeah,
Well, thank you, Richard.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you go to your Mac, you go to the top right corner of the screen, you click, and there should be a whole long scrolling list of notifications.
According to this, it says go to settings and notifications. Under lock screen, tap notifications. On lock screen or on lock screen, choose show alerting and silent notifications. That's supposed to bring them back up again.
Was that the last video, Bruce?
Yes, it is.
Stop sharing your screen then, so we can get bigger videos of the people talking. There you go. Now, so I select view multi-speaker for the recording. There you go. Okay. Any more comments or questions about the video presentation before we go to general Q&A and start a different recording? Hearing none, I'll say bye-bye to the YouTubers. We'll DVMUG members who watch this. If you want to see the Q&A next session, you can get a link for it on the DVMUG BBS. We'll see you there.